Warning light mean. The check engine warning light means there is a problem with the vehicle's engine. This could be due to faulty spark plugs or defective sensors. Since the early 80s, the check engine light can be found on pretty much every car made. The check engine light was implemented to try and keep engines running efficiently while reducing fuel consumption. As you drive along, the car's computer monitors different aspects of the engine and exhaust to determine whether everything is working as intended. Anything abnormal and the computer will illuminate the light to alert the driver that a fault has been detected. Check out some of the car diagnostic tools via ProCarReview's OBD2 recommendations to help you read the exact fault that has been detected. While many dislike the check engine light and tend to ignore it, the check engine light can be a very helpful warning as long as you understand what it means. What the check engine light means is mentioned earlier. The main reason why the light was introduced in the first place was to try and keep engines as efficient as possible. When you first start the engine, the light should illuminate for a few seconds to verify that the bulb is working. You should replace the bulb if you don't see it come on during startup. If the light stays on after startup, it indicates that the computer has noticed a fault somewhere and stored a code in memory to help identify the problem. Some common reasons for the light to come on include faulty spark plugs, malfunctioning engine sensors, or even a loose gas cap. Check the gas cap first and ensure that it is fully tightened. If the gas cap doesn't appear to be the issue, you'll need to hook up a scan tool to the car and read the code to understand more of what's going on. Usually the issue is fairly minor, but this warning light should never be ignored as small issues tend to develop into bigger, more costly ones, if neglected. If you ever see this light flashing, that is an indication of a serious misfire occurring in the engine. You should pull over as quickly and safely as possible and shut the engine off. The misfire can allow unburned fuel to enter the exhaust system and then reach the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter operates normally at several hundred degrees, so the fuel ends up burning inside the exhaust, which raises the temperature even more. Too much heat in the catalytic converter will be toast in no time and you'll have an expensive repair bill on your hands. You should have the vehicle towed in this situation to prevent any serious damage from occurring. Is it safe to drive with the check engine light on? Even if this light is on, it doesn't mean that the fault is currently happening. Certain faults may only happen every now and then, but the light will remain illuminated until certain parameters have been met. Usually, this involves driving the car normally, and if no fault has been detected for a while, the computer will turn off the light automatically. It's always best to have the light checked out, but sometimes driving normally for a few days can shut the light off and you won't see it again. If you are able to notice a difference in how the car drives, then it is likely the light won't turn off until the issue has been resolved, and you should not ignore this warning in this situation. As mentioned, if the light is flashing, significant damage is a real possibility and you should not drive the car until the issue is resolved. Warning. What does this warning mean? What does the oil pressure warning light mean? Engine oil is the very lifeblood of your vehicle. Without sufficient oil or oil pressure, the engine can wear itself out in a matter of seconds. Besides lubrication, engine oil helps with cooling, sealing, cleaning, and protecting engine components from repeated impacts. Auto manufacturers use an oil pressure warning light on the dashboard to warn the driver if the oil pressure gets too low. Some vehicles are able to distinguish between low oil levels and insufficient oil pressure, so you'll know if the pump is malfunctioning or if you just need to add some more oil. What the oil pressure warning light means: when you start the engine, the light should turn on for a second or two to test the bulb. Once the engine has turned over, the light will turn off if everything is okay. If the light remains illuminated, immediately shut off the engine and check the dipstick. Whenever you check your oil, always remember to wipe the dipstick clean, reinsert it back into the engine, and then read the level. Otherwise, your reading will be inaccurate. The same thing applies if you are driving and the light comes on. Pull over as quickly and safely as possible and check the oil level. If the overall level is correct, it is likely that the fuel pump or oil pressure gauge are malfunctioning. Replacing the pump or whatever is malfunctioning should turn the light off. What does this warning mean? What does the tire pressure warning light mean? The tire pressure light warns you when one or more of your tires is low on pressure and needs to be set to the correct PSI. Since 2008, all cars sold in the US are required to have a tire pressure monitoring system (TPMS) installed. Different car systems might monitor tire pressure differently, but they all have the same purpose. The system constantly monitors your tires as you drive to make sure they are properly inflated. Without this system, a driver may never realize their tire is losing air until it's too late. Now with the tire pressure monitoring system, you'll know when one of your tires is starting to get low on air and you can go fill it up before anything bad happens. What the tire pressure warning light means: when you first start up the engine, the TPMS light should illuminate for a few seconds as a systems check. After the engine has turned over, this light should go out. If it doesn't, then one of your tires is likely low on pressure. Take the car to a shop or gas station and check the tire pressures at each wheel. Some systems are sensitive and can tell the difference between a few psi, so you want the pressure to be as close to the manufacturer's specification. Refer to the owner's manual or the sticker in the driver door panel for the correct psi for your tires. Once the tires are at the correct pressure, the light will usually stay illuminated until you have driven for a bit. Eventually, the computer will see that all of the tires are at the correct pressure and the light should go off. If the light continues to stay illuminated, then there is an issue with the system that needs to be remedied. Some tire pressure sensors run on batteries, and if they run out of power, they do not communicate with the car's computer system and the light will be illuminated. Is it safe to drive with the tire pressure warning light on? If the light turns on while you are driving, you should pull over when you can and inspect all of your tires. If they appear to be mostly inflated still, you can continue driving, but you need to check all of the pressures with a gauge and fill up any tires low on air. An over or under inflated tire will wear out unevenly and you will need to replace it sooner than normal. Don't ignore the light, or the tire could also continue to lose air until it fails completely. What does this warning mean? The fog lamp indicator light features a lamp facing left and is usually green. It has 3 diagonal lines of light coming from it, and a wavy vertical line passes through the diagonal lines like a wall of fog. The rear fog light indicator is typically the same symbol, but the lamp instead faces right and is orange. What does this warning mean? Fog indicator warning light. In order to help drivers be safe in bad weather conditions, auto manufacturers include fog lights on certain models of vehicles. These lights are positioned lower than your normal driving lights to prevent any reflected light from coming back at you. Fog also tends to hover above the ground, so these fog lights will likely be able to reach further than your regular headlights. If it's foggy outside, then you should be using the fog lights to help your visibility. However, many drivers forget to turn them off once the weather has cleared up. Like any light bulb, fog lights have a limited lifespan, and leaving them on for too long will quickly burn them out, and next time it's foggy, your fog lights may not be functional. When you start the car, check the dash before you set off to make sure the fog lights aren't on unnecessarily. This way you will not burn out the lights prematurely and you'll be able to use them next time the weather isn't looking too great.